Well, Bryan Danielson. I got to get used to that. It's been. I'm surprised none of the announcers have done it. I'm surprised JR hasn't done it yet. Anyways, Bryan Danielson and Nick Jackson give us one hell of a match on Rampage this week. And like always, Rampage is the easiest show on the planet to watch.
Yeah, oh my god. This was like the match with Kenny was great, but this match, I was just like, it really hit me. Oh my god, the American Dragon is really back. And we'll get into it, but it's a wonderful thing to see.
Yes, it was very, very good. We have some other stuff that came up during this. They announced the participants for the casino ladder match that is happening on Wednesday. That is going to be an interesting one. I am curious who the Joker is. We can speculate on that in a little bit. And I saw some funny stuff on the Twitter today. Did you see the picture of CJ trying to take the TNT title back from Sammy?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, there's a picture of CJ trying to take the title back because it belongs to God's favorite champion.
I saw a picture that she posted of her and Aaliyah where they were both very nicely clad, but that was something different.
It also looks like Sammy is going to be using the black strap with the red color-filled title instead of the white with green that Miro has been using during his run.
Yeah, well, that was pretty obviously a custom belt for Miro with the Bulgarian colors. I'm glad, like, I don't know. I don't mind the idea of, some people having customized belts, but I don't know. I think everybody. I don't think everybody needs a customized belt. I still liked the second belt, the Finnish one with the red strap, the best.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think they should just make like a collection of like 6 different ones, and you can choose which one you want to use.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You can change the color of the strap. And in Dragon Gate, the Open the Brave Gate title, the champion gets to, like, it's a white strap, and the champion is encouraged to dye it whatever color they want.
Alrighty. All right, so before we get into the show here, you're listening to the That's Wrestling podcast. If you're listening to this as a podcast, we do this show live over on Twitch and on YouTube, so you can follow the show notes to the links for those. Also, you can come hang out with in our Discord as well. Link is in the show notes as well. Follow us on Twitter at That's Wrestling 1 with the number 1, and you can follow Trae at Wrestleism on the Twitter as well. And how's it going over in your neck of the woods? We're going to be doing a lot of shows because we are in G1 season.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of shows. I'm tired.
I just finished right before we did this. I finished night 8, so I am through. I'm current. Holy crap! On the G1, I am current.
I finished night 7 about an hour ago, and I'm gonna try to get caught up. Like, hopefully by like Monday we can cover 8 and 9 and be caught up.
Yeah, I think we'll cover 5, 6 tonight, and then we'll cover 7 and 8 either tomorrow or Monday, and then we'll cover 9, 10 whenever 10 is. I don't know when day 10 is. Do you know when day 10 is? I'm not sure.
No.
All right, so let's get into this. AEW Rampage, October 1st. 2021 coming up here, which actually today is the 2-year anniversary of the first AEW Dynamite show. So we're just short here at the Rampage, and we kick it off with Bryan Danielson versus Nick Jackson, and this match was awesome. Went about somewhere around 20 minutes, I think.
15 and a half.
15:35. Nick wanted nothing to do with Bryan to begin with, but Nick takes down Bryan with a shoulder block. Nick sprays himself down with the cold spray, and while he's screwing around on the outside, Bryan hits him with a dive. He hits a shotgun drop kick. When they're back in the ring, Bryan puts on a Romero special, and actually he drops it back into like a dragon sleeper with the legs still locked up, which was awesome. Nick has to rake the eyes to get out of that. We get a big lariat from Nick, but Bryan hits a butterfly suplex right into an armbar, but the rope is right there. And then the crowd chanted something that was an entire sentence, and I have no idea what they said.
Oh my God, it's my most favorite chant ever. It is back. It's "You're gonna get your fucking head kicked in."
Really? That's what it was?
Yes.
Because they brought it up on...
that was the classic American Dragon chant in Ring of Honor. "You're gonna get your fucking head kicked in."
Awesome. Because Taz brought it up, he's like, that's like an entire sentence. That's long for a chant. Some nice forearms from Bryan while he had Nick's arm wrapped behind his back on the top rope as well, so he couldn't move forward even if he wanted to because he was just being held there. Bryan keeps working the arm, kicks and chops from Bryan. What's up?
Oh, sorry, I accidentally touched my mic.
Got it. Bryan misses the drop kick on the corner, so he gets hung up on the top corner, top turnbuckle, and he flips over. Nick throws him to the outside, and Nick pulls the ref. Matt spears Bryan on the outside, hits a few punches for good measure. Nick hits a double sledge off the top to the floor. We get a rising knee from Nick in the corner, a bulldog out. Nick kicks Bryan in the chest a bunch of times, and that just pisses Bryan off. He eats like 20 kicks to the chest and starts leaning into him, and then he stands and starts hitting chops and kicks. Tons of kicks, hits the roundhouse kick to the head for a 2, hits a running boot in the corner. Nick fires back with a super kick, and then a second one to a kneeling Bryan. Bryan kicks out. Nick goes for a 450, but Bryan gets his knees up. Bryan puts on the label lock, but Nick grabs the ropes. He's right there. Out on the apron, Bryan starts kicking Nick a bunch of times. Nick ducks one. Bryan kicks the post, and then Nick hits a German suplex on the apron. And then he hits a dive off the top to the floor, and then puts on a sharpshooter when they get back in the ring. Bryan makes it to the ropes. Nick goes to kick Bryan on the floor, but Bryan moves, and Nick ends up kicking Brandon in the face, which was hilarious. Bryan hits Nick with a suplex on the floor, punches Matt off the other side of the apron when he gets back in the ring. He eats a super kick, but ends up hitting a tiger suplex for a 2. Bryan hits a bunch of elbow strikes and then locks on cattle mutilation, and Nick has to tap out. So the American Dragon has tapped out one of the Young Bucks.
I love this finish so much. The tiger suplex near fall, right into the elbows, right into cattle mutilation. That's the American Dragon that kept my love of wrestling alive at the time that it was probably the most fragile. And man, I've just missed watching American Dragon torture motherfuckers.
Yes, this was so good. He just like wrapped him up in all types of various stuff throughout the match and then submitted him in the end. And this shows why Bryan Danielson is like the best.
Yeah, and it made me want even worse that Bryan Danielson Zack Sabre Jr. match.
Very much so. Same thing here. I want to see that because it'll be awesome. They'll probably not throw like a single strike in the entire thing and go like 25 minutes.
Yeah, like that match needs like either like the Tokyo Dome or Madison Square Garden.
Yes. After the match is over, Kenny Omega and Adam Cole run down, but Christian, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy all come down as well to make sure something doesn't happen. But something does happen, and they all start brawling. Christian hits a kill switch on Matt. Luchasaurus hits the tail whip on Nick, and Jungle Boy puts the snare trap on Cole, and Kenny had bailed, and the crowd starts chanting Kenny no balls. So Kenny charges into the ring, and Bryan puts him in the label lock facing Adam Cole, and they're both facing each other, tapping out to their respective submissions that they are in. And then they let them go, and the Elite bugger off.
Yeah, this was good stuff.
I love that they carried over the Kenny No Balls from earlier, since this was taped on the same night, but they
yes,
carried it over. So next up, we had a short video. It was Powerhouse Hobbs and Hook, and I don't even know why, because this was just an introduction. They said, hey, check it out. Ricky Starks has a special message for Brian Cage. And then they cut to Ricky Starks, and it's basically just a documentary style type of shoot where he's just voiceovering the rest of it. And he's in like this really ridiculous house, driving a really ridiculous car, which I'm sure neither of them are his. But Ricky says, me and Brian Cage are not the same, and that's obvious. You'll never be able to compete with me because there's such a gap between us. And excuse me if I'm a little pissed off. And just because you're bigger than me, just because you're bigger doesn't mean that you can whoop everyone's ass. And I never back down from a fight, and I damn sure ain't gonna let some cornball like you put me out. That's the absolute truth.
Yeah. Can we blow this feud off and be done with it, please?
Yes. What do you think about the whole thing with Brian Cage being quote unquote underutilized in his mind?
I think that as a booker, like, you know, or an imaginary booker, like the one who fancies themselves a booker, like, I think that I could get more out of him, but I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why the guy that they took out of Team Taz was like the one guy without any charisma.
Exactly. I mean, like, he's slotted pretty much where he should be slotted. I mean, he's not main event level. He's barely TNT title level, if that. In my view, at least. I mean, he's a big name. He's a decent worker, but he just does not have the charisma.
He's a big guy who can do some really impressive stuff. Who he reminds me of is Mike Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, a big guy who could do really impressive stuff for a guy his size, but well, maybe they'll make him a fat chick thriller.
Next up, we had a quick CM Punk video. He says, I consider myself a 5-tool player. I beat Darby. I survived Hobbs. I only think that the only thing I think I had over him was experience. I think it's starting to settle in with people are happy that I'm back, but I have a target on my back, and I rather take a big bite and choke on greatness than starve on mediocrity. I want the best people in AEW. I want them across from me in the ring. Just remember, though, if you step up, nap time is always on the menu.
It's a good promo, I thought.
Yeah.
Interested. Who you think Punk's going to go with next? If he's done with
that, I don't know. When he's done with if he is done with Team Taz, I'm guessing I'd like to see him versus Ricky Starks, because that would be a really good match. But I don't know who Punk goes after next. It makes sense if he stays going after the heel side of things. I don't know, maybe he tries to pick off Matt Jackson?
I really wanted to see Punk and Starks. Like, why is Starks still tied up in this never-ending feud with Brian Cage that I don't think anyone cares about?
Yeah, exactly. I'd much rather have Punk and Starks than Starks and Cage.
It's like we had that whole thing with Christian and Team Taz, and we never got Christian versus Starks, and that was a match I really wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody versus Starks is what I want.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, that would be fine. Yeah, maybe picking off one of the Elite, like Matt Jackson, would be good. Though it would be fun just seeing him kill Brandon just for fun.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get involved with the Elite for a while.
Yeah,
yet. I think he's gonna. I don't know. It seems like you with all the newcomers, you've got Cole and Bryan in that mix, and it's probably good to have Punk do something else. But I don't know.
Depending
the
where
thing about AEW is that there's a lot of exciting stuff that could happen.
I know, like I'd like to see him against Andrade. That would be fun.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, basically any heel in the company that's worth their salt that has been on Dynamite within the past, 3 months would be on my list of people to put him against. Heck, even actually, I just thought of this one. This would actually be interesting. Punk versus Lance Archer.
That actually would be interesting. I will throw in a caveat: any heel on the show, as long as it's not anybody in the Hardy family.
I kind of want to see him against Butcher.
Okay, I'll allow that
one. Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose versus Thunder Rosa in a no DQ 3-way. Thunder Rosa was clearly the favorite, as nobody was chanting for anybody else. No. She has to fight off both Nyla and Jade to start. She hits kicks to both of them, hits a face buster to Jade. Nyla catches Rosa coming in on a crossbody and slams her. Jade breaks up the pin. Nyla and Jade hit some forearms, and then a pump kick to Nyla from Jade, and then a clothesline sending Nyla to the floor. Rosa hits a missile dropkick off the top to Jade. We go to commercial. When they come back from commercial, there is now a trash can in the ring, and a table has been set up on the outside on the ramp side of the ring. Rosa hits Jade with a few drop kicks and then puts the trash can on Jade's lap and drop kicks the can into Jade. Nyla breaks up that pin. Jade hits a spine buster, and Jade then hits a pump kick, but actually missed by a mile, but Rosa still sold it. Nyla puts on a single leg crab. Rosa hits a drop kick for 2 on Nyla. Nyla avoids a drop kick in the corner. They go out onto the apron where the table's set up. Nyla puts Thunder Rosa on the top rope, but Thunder Rosa slips out and ends up giving Nyla a power bomb off the apron through the table. And while she's trying to drag Nyla back into the ring from behind, Jade attacks with a chair over and over, and then pins her. So we have Jade Cargill pinning Thunder Rosa with some really, really bad chair shots, because a bunch of them were like the end of the chair instead of the flat of the chair. I bet Thunder Rosa had some pretty harsh words for her when she got backstage.
Yeah. This was a fun bit of chaos, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, they did what they could. They hid what they did for Cargill for the most part. Obviously, Thunder Rosa being the best worker out of the 3 of them. So it was decent, and that power bomb off the apron was something.
Yeah, yeah, something.
It took Thunder Rosa off off balance. She actually fell on top of Nyla after she released her because she couldn't. Did you see it? Like the replay, she grabbed back for the ropes but missed it with her hand and just fell.
Yeah, kind of. That was a rough time.
Yeah, it was fine though. Next up, we had Malachi Black cutting it was a video promo. He says, "You still won't do what's necessary, Cody. When I hit you with that black mist, it came from the heart. I hope it seeped into every part of your existence. I hope it sits there and festers while it eats you alive. Maybe you'll understand what it takes to defeat someone like me, but I've grown sick of the Nightmare family. For the rest, there are plenty of souls that need to find their own truth, and plenty of toll that needs to be collected.
Yeah.
Where's Malachi Black going next?
I don't know. It just amused me that the main point was, I'm bored of the Nightmare family. Let me go do something else.
Yes. So I am curious where Black goes from here. At this point, do they treat him as a babyface? Because I'm pretty sure against almost anybody, he's going to be the babyface.
You know what would be really awesome? Black against Miro.
Yes, that would be awesome. And of course, too bad the one match that I really want to see would be very dividing of the crowd, because I really want to see Malachi Black and Bryan Danielson. But I'm not sure how we can make that work well with the story.
Yeah, I don't feel like I feel like eventually, I don't think it's time for that now, but eventually that should happen and it will be awesome.
Yeah, I feel like that would be if Malachi picks up the TNT championship at some point. That seems like how you get to that match without having to build a story.
Yeah, and I really, really want Danielson to get the TNT title at some point, and then just like do the thing that he wanted to do with the Intercontinental title, where he just did like the open challenge every week, and because here, like, look, if he's just gonna have 4-star matches on TV every week, like I'll be happy as long as you keep doing that.
Mm-hmm. Next up, they had a quick video playing some of the stuff from Sammy's TNT Championship win. He says, I've only had this title for a minute. There are already people challenging me for it. Bobby Fish, you want to walk through the forbidden door? Well, go for it, buddy. But you come through, I'm sending your ass straight to hell.
Can we stop using the term forbidden door? Because it meant like a very specific thing, and now people just use it to mean anything, and that irritates me because I'm a stickler for using words correctly.
Yeah, considering that Bobby Fish is just a free agent at this point. He doesn't work for he's not signed to anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's any agreement that he has to deal with. So yes, I will agree with you. This is not a forbidden door situation. Right. Then they run down the card for Dynamite. It's going to be for the 2-year anniversary show of Dynamite. It's going to be the Elite, the Bucks, Omega, and Cole versus Bryan Danielson, Jungle Boy, Christian Cage, Luchasaurus. Then we're going to have Hikaru Shida trying to get her 50th win in the company versus Serena Deeb. That should be a really good match.
Yeah, that I'm into that. Yeah. That's going to be a hell of a match.
I'm also looking forward to Sammy Guevara defending his title against Bobby Fish. That should be a really good match as well. I mean, this is like 3 really good matches right here already. And then we're going to have the Casino ladder match is back. And they have announced Pac, Andrade, Moxley, Archer, Orange Cassidy, and Matt Hardy. And a Joker. And I have no idea if the Joker is going to be already in the company or if it's going to be an actual surprise.
I don't know. Of course, everybody goes, Hangman. Okay, Hangman's still like...
His wife hasn't had the baby yet.
Exactly. Like, it's just... People just don't take facts into account at all. It's very frustrating.
Yeah. No, Hangman isn't coming back until after the baby is born, which hasn't happened yet. And I'm sure it's going to be a few weeks after that at least. So I wouldn't expect Hangman back before Full Gear.
Yeah, I don't expect him back before the first of the year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. December at the earliest, but I would say probably after the first of the year.
Yeah.
Mark Henry split screen with Orange Cassidy on one side, Matt Hardy and Jack Evans on the other. Matt says that this was actually Jack's brainchild. He was the one who brought the scissors to the ring. I'm not going to deprive him of shaving Orange Cassidy's head. And then Orange Cassidy says, what's this match? What am I doing? I don't know what this is. And Mark says, Orange, it's a hair versus hair match. If you lose, then you're going to get your head shaved. He's like, oh, well, I guess I'm not going to lose then. And that was it.
that tickled me.
Yes. That was really good. So we had the Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans hair versus hair match. And actually, I'm going to put a little note right here so I remember to bring it up when it's over. Hardy distracts and Jack immediately tries a roll up. And then Orange Cassidy, he stands up, puts his hands in his pockets. He ducks a kick from Jack and hits a few weak low kicks. When Jack gets up, he tries for another kick and he dodges that and he crashes on the floor and more low kicks again. Hardy pulls Orange Cassidy to the outside behind the ref's back and gives him a good old punch. Jack Evans hits a 450 splash off the apron to the floor. Orange Cassidy answers the 10 count at 9. We get the heat on Orange Cassidy for a while. Hardy gets in some cheap shots behind the ref's back. Jack Evans hits a handspring back elbow, and when he goes for another one, he gets backdropped to the floor. Orange hits a dive on Hardy and then onto Evans. Evans misses the Sky Twister press, but hits a Northern Lights suplex and a Michinoku driver for a 2 count. He hits a Sky Twister off the top rope for a 2. Or actually, hits another. He actually hits the Sky Twister, the standing Sky Twister for 2. Misses a Sky Twister off the top, and then Orange Cassidy hits a big DDT. Then he hits a diving DDT off the top for 2, and then we have Butcher, Blade, and Bunny. They start walking down the ramp, but Butcher is wearing a Mickey Mouse T-shirt, which I thought was hilarious. But then Kris Statlander, Wheeler Yuta, and Chuck come out through the crowd, and they're standing in front of the ring to cut him off. Then the rest of the Hardy family office comes out onto the ramp. So then the Dark Order run down to fortify the line, and wow, I totally missed the finish.
Well, all the people came out to face each other off, and Evans was distracted, and then Orange hit the orange punch and won.
That was it. Yeah, I totally missed. I totally did not type down that part.
Yeah.
So he had lost. Now we have these two teams facing off on the outside, and Hardy and Helico tries to go save his friend, but he gets beat up, and Matt Hardy's like, Jack, you're just gonna have to take one for the team. Retreat. And then they all leave. Best friends cut off Jack Evans' hair, and then -1 is in the ring. They give him a big old mustache, and then give him the big old group hug with all the best friends in the Dark Order, and give him some sunglasses as well. And they go off the air with -1 on Orange Cassidy's shoulder, and Jack Evans with a hilarious haircut.
Yeah, so the last shot is -1 with the big fake mustache and the sunglasses on, and it was a very nice ending.
Did you see the Jack Evans and Butcher picture?
No.
It's funny as hell. If you go to the Andy's Twitter, there was a hilarious picture of him with Jack Evans. They basically just shaved the top of Jack Evans' head, so now he has a big bald spot with long hair on the side, which is what the Butcher naturally has right now. So they're like, what? It's not that bad. So it's really funny. You should go check it out on the I think Andy's Twitter is Andy Complains. Yeah.
So
it's good stuff. So I'm guessing Jack Evans will continue. Will cut off the rest of the hair because he does look a little ridiculous right now.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Other than that, it was the match was fine, and we still have some unity amongst the Dark Order here. It was in Rochester, so obviously they're going to keep that up. Where the Dark Order's cohesiveness continues or not, that will remain to be seen over the next few weeks.
Yeah, hopefully that's just it.
I don't know what else to cover. Rampage is such an easy watch and just flies by. They don't pack a ton of stuff on there because they basically pack 3 matches, couple little promos, and that was it.
It's the greatest hour of the week.
Mm-hmm. Really looking forward to see where they go with Bryan Danielson after he disengages from the Elite. I am not sure when they're going to come back to Danielson versus Omega. I mean, a lot of people want to have it happen at Full Gear. That might be enough time to play it back, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know, just throwing out an idea. Okay, so we've got the casino ladder match for that. But we don't know if that's going to be the pay-per-view title match or a TV match.
I'm assuming it'll be TV because Full Gear isn't until when? Like November?
It's November 13th.
So I guess that's not too bad because that would give them, 1, 2, 3, 4, basically 5 weeks of TV before the pay-per-view. So, I mean, that would be fine unless they are going to do like a Halloween special or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but I was just wondering if they're going to do the Winter is Coming as a big show again this year. But maybe that could be time for the Danielson match, or the New Year's show, or whenever. I have confidence that.
Yeah, but that's like one of those matches you do not want commercial breaks in.
No, yeah,
and they're gonna go a long time on their second match. They're gonna go past 30 easy, and I kind of hope they do a 60-minute draw. But
yeah.
Anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up here for AEW stuff, and then we will take a very short break and come back talking some G1 stuff.
Yeah, no, we're good on AEW.
Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the That's Wrestling podcast. If you're listening to this as a podcast, we do this show live over on Twitch and on YouTube. You can follow the links in the show notes to those. If you're watching on Twitch right now, just hang in with Twitch. If you are watching on YouTube, you have to switch over to the New Japan link, which you can find on the main channel. Twitter, you can follow us at That's Wrestling 1. You can follow Trae at WrestleIsm. So for Trae, my name's Eric. You've been watching and listening to That's Wrestling. See you later, guys.
Bye.